right now. I mean, just today they had the and I'm gonna go right into it. They had the SpenceCrawford final press conference. I believe it was if I'm not mistaken, it was in New York or something like that. And I guess they were pretty respectful. They're gonna leave all the shenanigans for the day they walk into the ring, and they can finally get to compete each other. The fans of what they've been waiting to see for this for the longest time. I'm glad it happened. Now, I mean, believe it or not, I wish it would have happened sooner. But it's better than later, right? And what do you think about that? Did you get a chance to see it, or if not, what do you think about that fight? Who you got? What's your opinion on these guys?
I'm glad you brought it up. I was saying the same thing, that they should have fought before, but you know what? God got his timing, because for some reason, I'm starting to look at it now, and they're more mature. They're not over the hill. And I think they're both in a good space, even though Spence had the accident. But when I see them now, Spence looking strong, man. Spence is looking strong. These guys are going to go at it, bro. I don't think it's going to be a chess match, but I think it's going to be a hell of a fight, man.
It's hard to say. I mean, there's so many topics I want to talk about today, but it's hard to say who's going to win that fight. I mean, my heart was with Bud. Not that I have anything against. I never met any really. I've only seen them. I never really met them. So I don't have any favoritism as far as an allegiance to either one of them. But the reality of the situation is, I'm with Bud only a little bit. I just think that his boxing acumen is just a little bit greater than Spence. They both had their share of good challenges and things like that. But I just think that Bud's repertoire is a little bit more diversified. He can switch up. He can do different angles. He could be aggressive. He could be a boxer. He could definitely pop counterpunch. What do you think about those things? What do you see their best attributes are?
I said it last week. You got the lightning and you got the thunder. What comes first? The lightning, right? Well, I see Terrence getting there first. How does Spence react to that? Everybody's saying, how is Crawford going to react? But if the lightning comes first, it's going to seem if the storm is going to come. We don't know. I mean, the thunder. We don't know if the thunder is going to really catch this dude. I mean, he's always on his feet. When I see Spence, he got one look, and he keeps coming forward. I just can't see him catching Crawford. If Crawford, and it's not going to be that Crawford is running. He's going to. Do you know the size of the ring for this fight or no?
I don't know. I don't have. I'm not privy to that information at this particular time. But to tell the truth, it ain't going to be It ain't going to be an 18 by 18. I know that for sure.
Right.
I assume it's going to be at minimal 20 by 20. But what do I know, right? I know that it definitely ain't going to be an 18 by 18. But in saying that, it's going to be interesting. Who makes the better and quicker adjustments? No.
Exactly, and the size of the ring. The more space Terrence Grock, the more he gonna be moving and utilizing that whole ring. Again, Spence, as far as cutting the ring off, sometimes look what Sean Porter. I keep watching that fight. Porter took it to him, man. Sean Porter, that was a close fight. I don't know. They should have gave that fight a draw. To me.
Well, I mean, there was a couple times that I seen some things that maybe could have swayed the judges. I mean, the reality of the situation is that when you're the house guy, when you're the house promoter, when you're promoted by the house promoter, and you got the card stacked against you, if it's close or if it's if you don't really just totally dominate the guy, you're subject to a decision you're not going to like. I may not like it, you may not like it, but there has to be something said to having. It shouldn't be this way, but in many ways it is, because the reality of the situation, what's the point of having a house advantage, home field advantage, if you're not given that advantage? You're in the house, your promoter's promoting the show, it's your people backing the whole thing. The reality of the situation is that you have to have some type of advantage. I have a comment here real quick. I want to read it. It says, peace from Carl Suleiman. It says Crawford has never faced an opponent like Spence. And you know what, Carl? I mean, I could agree with that. I could agree with that. But I just look at, like I said, I'm a fan of both of them. And I'm really happy that we got it sooner than later. Like I remember when Tyson was gonna fight Holyfield, and that never transpired because of the legalities of what went on. He went on a government paid vacation for a little while. And when he came back, for me, it lost its luster, it lost its fire. And I think it robbed Holyfield and several others of the opportunity of beating or winning or losing or whatever to a prime before vacation Mike Tyson, right? Because they dragged it out too long. And there could be another fights. There could be many other fights we could talk about when it comes to that. But I mean, I hope it lives up to what we all anticipated being. Every 10 or every 20 or 30 years, there's things like this. This weight class from 135 or really from 130 all the way up to like 154. They're hot. These guys can bang. These guys got speed. They're very exciting, and it reminds me, not exactly, but it reminds me of the era of the Rands and Sugar Ray Leonards and Marvin Haglers and stuff like that. And